I'm Jimi Hendrick, and this episode is called 90% Success Rule with Terri Seville FOY on Empower Your Pattern 2.0. Did you know that there are success patterns to help you receive more, to help you live a better and extraordinary life? Well, I'm Jimi Hendrick. I am a Success, Confidence, and Thrive coach, a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and if you come with me, I will show you these success patterns. Let's go. Okay, guys, we are in for a treat. I have some insights from Terri Seville FOY. She is I see her as a thought leader and success coach from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. I really admire her a lot, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go ahead and feature her now. So here we go.
Please subscribe. Be sure to follow us.
So about that.
Hey, I'm Terri Seville FOY. Thank you for watching today. I want to talk to you about the 90% rule of success and failure. But first, let me tell you about a man who was one of the greatest motivational speakers that ever lived. His name was Jim Rohn. And Jim Rohn said that years ago, when he was just full of excuses, he said, I had pennies in my pocket, nothing in the bank, creditors are calling, and he said, life was just wasting away year after year, making $57 a week. He met this very wealthy man who began to mentor him, kind of take him under his wing, teach him success. And he asked him one day, he said, out of curiosity, how come you haven't done well up to now? He said, I pulled out my list of excuses. His excuses said things like the economy, the taxes, a lack of training, my negative relatives, my boss, a lack of education, my background. He had this whole list of excuses as to why he couldn't succeed. Well, the wealthy man said to him, how come you ain't on the list? Well, he said he began to teach him. He said, Jim, don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems. Wish for more skills. Then he taught him some powerful principles like success is something you attract by the person you become. He said, if you want more, just become more. He even said things like, if you don't have much, perhaps you haven't become much. But he began teaching these principles of success. Jim said, I tore that list up and I made a new one. At the very top, it said me, that he was the reason he hadn't succeeded up to then. Well, he said the first 6 years of his economic life, he said, I was in debt. The second 6 years of my economic life, I was a millionaire. Well, the thing is, every one of us could have a list of excuses as to why we can't be successful, as to why we haven't done well up to now. But the point is, every one of us are going to face opposition. We're going to have obstacles coming against us. We're going to have reasons we could use, to justify why we are where we are. But I want you to realize God has so much more for your life. And sometimes, instead of looking around at other people and thinking, oh, they've just got it made, nobody's ever been through what I've been through, sometimes you just need to be encouraged by hearing stories of other people who have achieved success, who faced crazy difficulties, opposition sometimes we can't even fathom, but they still made it. In fact, I was reading this story about a young guy who he said he had a very rough childhood. In fact, he was physically and sexually abused as a young child. He was kicked out of high school. He said he had 2 suicide attempts, one as a teenager and one in his early 20s, tried to take his own life, felt like he was worthless, no dreams for his life. Finally, at 23 years old, he began to get that desire to do something with his life. He said he moved to Atlanta, Georgia, and began to pursue his dream. After all the hell that he went through, he went after his dream. He said in 1992, he wrote a play. He said, I poured my life savings into it. Everything he had, he put it into that play. Hoping this was his big break. Things are going to turn around. Maybe he has a chance at success. And he said the play lasted 1 weekend and 30 people showed up. Well, he still would not give up on that dream. In fact, he said many nights he slept in his car, but he would not give up. 6 years later, the play finally took off and became successful. 6 years of not giving up on his plays. That's amazing. But then he said this. Years later, he became Ford's highest paid man in entertainment, and he's known around the world as a woman. Of course, that's Tyler Perry, known as Medea, right? Think of the opposition that Tyler Perry has faced to become who he is today. Remember Jim Rohn's mentor said, "Don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills. Success is something you attract by the person you become." Well, I read where 90% of all first-time businesses fail. 90% of all second-time businesses succeed. However, 80% of all people will never try a second time. Isn't that a disappointment? 80% will never give it another shot. Well, I believe God's speaking to you today that the dream in your heart, it may look like it's never going to happen, and you may have had more than 2 disappointments and failures at trying to go after this dream. But no matter how long it takes, don't ever give up. In fact, there was a young girl who, she said she dropped out of high school to pursue her singing career. She recorded her first gospel album. It was released in 2001 and sold 200 copies. 200 copies. Eventually, the company went out of business, so she decided to move to LA to pursue pop music. She signed a contract with Island Def Jam, and eventually that contract was terminated. 2004, she signs a contract with Columbia Records, thinking this is it. 80% into her record with them, the deal fell through. So she's dropped by 3 labels, could have given up on her dream. She was working odd jobs, doing backup vocals for other people. Today, Katy Perry is still singing. So what I'm saying is no matter how many obstacles, attempts at being successful or achieving that dream that's in your heart, don't ever give up on that dream. In fact, one of my favorite quotes was when Oral Roberts and Miles Monroe were having lunch with Corrie ten Boom. And they asked her keys to success, how does she made it this many years, stayed focused on her dream? And she said, always live according to your vision, never according to your eyes. Then she said this, believe in the dark what God told you in the light. I love that. I've shared that on several podcasts. But
don't doubt in darkness what God has promised you in the light. I want you to think about this. One of the reasons why Empower Your Pattern 2.0 was started was really to deal with the issue of overcoming adversity. So sometimes some of the people that are like uber successful have gone through, and I mean crazy adversity. And so that's why you need to pay attention to the 90% rule of success mentioned by Terri, Seville, FOY. I think it's a wonderful idea. It brings together a lot of concepts in personal development. Now, I hope you enjoy listening to Empower Your Pattern 2.0. If you like what you hear, please subscribe. Become a citizen of Pattern Realm. This is Jimi Hendrix saying until next time, share this with Mama-san, Papa-san, everyone. Do what others don't so you can be what others won't. Do what others don't so you can have what others can't. Choose, act, and pursue happiness. And God bless you.